Hi guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Granville Ritchie. A judge Friday affirmed a jury's recommendation from nearly a year ago that 41-year-old should be put to death for raping and murdering Felecia Williams. Felecia Williams stood in the courtroom on Friday and faced the man convicted of raping and killing her 9-year-old daughter more than 6 years ago. She wore a uniform of grief and remembrance, a black dress affixed with a glitter Hello Kitty pin, her daughter Felecia Williams' favorite character, a black face mask printed with her daughter's face. Demerson told a judge about the medication she has to take to get through the day, the sleep she has lost. She and other family members detailed the unending pain 41-year-old Granville Ritchie had brought to their family. But the color she wore did not only signal perpetual mourning. She told Judge Michelle Sisco, who was tasked Friday with deciding whether to take a jury's recommendation, now nearly a year old, that Ritchie be put to death for his crimes. I just want to say that I've waited 2,310 days for this day to come, Demerson said. I am here to stand as a wounded mother. I am here wearing all black because I'm here to bury Ritchie today. She said her only regret was Ritchie couldn't be hanged, to feel the same thing her daughter felt while he strangled her. All I know is he needs to be like her. I feel like death is appropriate. After she completed her testimony, Judge Sisco said she had struggled with how to convey her thoughts towards Demerson, but told her the following. I've thought long and hard about what I was going to say to you. First, I'm in awe of your bravery, your tireless advocacy for your daughter. The fact that you were able to sit through this trial with the horrific facts. You are a better, stronger woman than I am. That is true. I think most parents have a moment when a child runs away from them, they can't find a child, a call or text message goes unanswered for a period of time. Each parent has that sick feeling of dread that something happened to their child. For most parents, that moment passes, but for a few unfortunate ones, it doesn't. Instead, it becomes a first step of a never-ending nightmare you never wake up from. My heart breaks for you. I know you're a woman of deep faith. I know that you and Felecia will have a joyous reunion. I wish you all the best. No one spoke on the behalf of Ritchie during Friday's testimony. I don't know what your spiritual leanings are, however. If you do ever pray to a higher power, either now or at some point, and you truly seek forgiveness, I hope that it is granted. I do still see the humanity in you, Judge Sisco said after delivering the death sentence. May God have mercy on your soul, Mr. Ritchie. Sisco sentenced Ritchie to death Friday morning. She found that the aggravating factors that make capital punishment necessary, Felecia's age, that Ritchie killed her while he sexually battered her, and that Ritchie exhibited extreme or outrageous depravity in the torturous killing, far outweighed the mitigating factors that the defense presented. There will be no corporeal redemption for you, your physical being, your person, Sisco said after sentencing Ritchie, who did not speak. You will remain incarcerated until the date of your death is scheduled to occur. The jury last September found Ritchie guilty of first-degree murder, capital sex battery, and aggravated child abuse in the death of Felecia. Ritchie was a stranger to 9-year-old Felecia Williams, who lived in East Tampa, but they both knew Ebony Wheely. She was a neighbor and a friend to Felicia's family and considered herself a mother-like figure to the girl. Wheely met Ritchie in early May of 2014 and was instantly smitten. On May 16, 2014, Felecia left home with Wheelie. They went with Ritchie to his mother's apartment in Doral Oaks Complex in Temple Terrace. Once there, Ritchie sent Wheelie to go buy marijuana, leaving the girl with him alone. When Wheelie returned about 50 minutes later, she found Ritchie alone. He claimed he had given the girl money to go buy candy at a nearby CVS store and she had not returned. Prosecutors believe Ritchie raped and strangled the girl while Wheelie was gone. They believed he concealed her body in a suitcase, then later that night drove to the County Campbell Causeway where he dumped her nude into the bay. Wheelie initially told Temple Terrace police that Felecia had run off while she and Ritchie had sex in a bedroom. But after the girl's body was found the next day, she admitted she lied. Wheelie was a star witness at Ritchie's trial. She remains charged with lying during a missing person investigation. She is scheduled to face trial next month and could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Ritchie attorneys Bjorn Brovard had argued that several mitigating factors should prevent Ritchie from being put to death. Sisco accepted some of those arguments. Ritchie's abusive and violent childhood in Kingston, Jamaica, his lack of prior criminal history, but dismissed others, including the assertion that Ritchie was under emotional and mental duress when he killed Felecia. The mitigating factors she did accept didn't negate the heinousness of the crime, she said. Sisco had already prepared her sentencing statement when Friday's hearing began. But before reading it, she opened the court to statements of several of Felicia's family members spoke. Nobody spoke in Ritchie's favor. She meant the world. She meant the world to us. And he discarded her like she was nothing, Felicia's sister, Shakila Given, said before speaking directly to Ritchie. Your day has come. God got you now. Felicia's father, Jerome Rodriguez Williams, invoked his own legal tribulation and urged Ritchie to ask Demerson for forgiveness and to pray for it. He said he forgave him. I love you, he said. You're a child of God, but don't play with him. If you play with him, he's going to destroy you. State Attorney Andrew Warren, speaking after the sentencing, said that the state was satisfied with the decision. In Florida, we reserve the death penalty for the worst of the worst offenders, he said, and if the brutal rape and murder of a 9-year-old doesn't meet that definition, I don't know what does. Many of the family members who appeared in court Friday spoke through tears. At one point, so did Sisco as she addressed Demerson. And this report is from Tampa Bay Times staff writer Dan Sullivan, and I also read from Fox 13 News. But with that being said, Ritchie deserved everything that he got. He has been sentenced to death. And one thing I will say, when Black people are faced with stuff like this, they always say how they forgive the person. That could never be me. Her dad, Felicia's dad, telling Ritchie that he forgave her is way more than I could ever do. Because if you rape and kill my daughter, I promise you, I probably wouldn't be in court saying I forgive you. I'll probably be behind bars also. So they are more forgiving than I am. But this man, I don't know his backstory. But one thing I realize is when Jamaicans, and I am a Jamaican, come to the US and get in trouble, they always use the same old thing. I was abused, or I have been exposed to a lot of violence growing up in Jamaica. And quite frankly, some of them I do believe and some of them I don't. A lot of the times in certain areas, you're going to be exposed to violence and abuse and stuff like that. And then in certain areas, you're definitely not, because you're protected by your family members, you're protected by the community. And this same old line and same old tactic that they use is getting old and tired, and I'm actually sick of it. And one thing I will say, Jamaicans love living in Florida because it reminds them of home, and they have the same type of weather and they can get all their food and stuff readily available. It's like a mini Jamaica in certain place in Florida. But come here and do any wrong, please know they reserve the right to sentence you to death. This is one of the states that you can be sentenced to death, where they schedule you to die. So don't come here and play. Because this is not Jamaica where you get a slap on the wrist or you plead guilty and say, I'm sorry and I did it, and you get a reduced sentence like 25 to life. Mr. Ritchie needs to go to jail, and he needs to die the same way how he killed this 9-year-old. But with that said, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section below. What are your thoughts? Also, what are your thoughts about the girl lying to the police and she being in jail right now? Do you allow your kids to go over to friends' houses, especially when they have partners or significant others? What are your thoughts on this whole story? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.